The last time we watched his video, he was talking about the manosphere. He was talking about red pill spaces. He was talking about fresh and fit. And literally everything he said, it made it sound like red pill and incels are all the same exact thing. And they are all there just because they hate women. They first hate women, and then they go find other people who also hate women, and they all gather together because they want to hate women together. And it was just the dumbest analysis you've ever seen in your life. This, if you guys remember, he was the guy who played the douche, just over and over and over and over and over throughout the entire video. It was so obnoxious. And then afterwards, he came into my comments and was mad. He was mad that I said the N-word during my video, and that pretty much ruined the entire thing. Where's his other videos? Let me show you how many times he plays that freaking... Here it is.
Men don't ask for much from women. Maybe a sandwich here or there. So if a girl doesn't give you, that's like 1/3 of what she's supposed to give you gone. 50% almost.
There's something called consent with women. When you're in a relationship, you don't want to force or coerce your partner to have with you. I think that's...
See, it's the whole freaking video. The whole video. I'm not kidding. It's like that the entire video. It doesn't stop. It's so obnoxious. And that's why in my video essay, I had a part where I do like, you know, Trump bad and, you know, debate bro good and all of this other stuff. And I'm making those doos sounds. I'm making fun of guys like him, guys like, who's that? Noah Samson, like all these leftist video essayists who play those sounds over and over. What does Noah Samson call it? The Vine boom sound. Yes, the Vine boom sound. It's just, it's too much, man. It's too much. I can't take it. But all right, we're gonna watch his new video.
Men used to go to war. Now they want their ass ate. Men used to go to war.
Oh my God! No, help me! Help me! Help me, Avak!
Now they beg for feet pics.
The man is accused of fondling women's feet at 2.
A woman reported that he tried to caress, massage, or place the victim's foot or toes in or on his mouth without consent.
Men used to go to war. Now they bark under an e-girl's pictures. Men used to go to war. Now they're creative directors and want to be the little spoon. Men used to go to war. Now they're doing streaks on Snapchat. Men used to go to war. Now they buy strawberry flavored vape.
Pink, colors, an intention. Just like masculinity or femininity, a visualization of subjective perception. Pink is the best androgynous example pertaining to the mental conundrum of Olympic pirouetting gender stigma has had its invisible yassified hands on that my ADHD brain can...
Oh my goodness. He's getting much better. This is much better. This is so much better than the last video. The last video was like from, what, 10 months ago, I believe? I think the last video was from 10 months ago. This is 1,000 times better than that video. The editing, the music, the switching, the part with him standing there with this all over him. This is much better, artistically speaking.
Think of. Throughout the world and over the centuries, pink has been culturally fashioned to fit a number of outlooks, beliefs, and purposes, which have always starkly contrasted social connotations of gender on a century to decade level. In the Western world, pink had its first gender impregnation following the mid-1700s when aristocrats, these people being men, mind you.
I mean, look, obviously, I love my pink. I've always got pink stuff in the background. I invented what they call bisexual lighting. I don't know why they call it bisexual lighting, or maybe it's part of like the bisexual flag. Is that what it is? That's what it is. Yes. Okay. It is the blue and pink. All right. Somebody, yeah, other people told me different things, but I just now thought of it. It's got to be the flag. So yes. So blue and pink are the colors that I put behind me a long time ago. And I'm telling you, I think I did it before anybody else. I don't know anybody who was doing blue and pink behind them at all. Like, I don't know anybody who was doing these things way back in the day. I believe I was the first to have like 2 lights behind me with 2 different colors even. Not just blue and pink, but to have 2 different colors at all. You can see me up here, blue and pink back there. Nobody else got 2 colors. Here's Vash with his 1 color. Here's Joe Lewis with his one color. Nobody else has two colors behind them. And I had that before I was even on Twitch. I had two different colored lights behind me. Here's green and pink. Here's green and pink. Here's blue and pink again. Here's blue and pink again. Blue and pink, blue and pink. Blue and pink. Blue and pink, blue and pink, blue and pink, blue and pink. Okay, so there's blue over there. So this is before I got the second color. Just one color, one color, one color, one color. So yeah, I guess this is when I first had two colors. And I was doing blue and pink. Oh, this is blue and red. But anyways, the point is, I invented bisexual lighting. I was the first to do it. Everybody else copies me, okay? Even this stuff right here, everybody will have crap that looks like this soon enough. But I did it first, okay? Everybody remember, when they all copy me again, stolen valor. Yes, it shouldn't be called bisexual lighting. It should be called tomfoolery lighting. And the flag should be called the tomfoolery flag. People who are bisexual should be called tomfoolery. What's your sexual orientation? Tomfoolery. Because this is where it all stemmed from. Tomfoolery flags in chat. Yes, let's go. And yes, that's, you guys are using a logo that is blue and pink. Yes. My favorite logo of my own is the blue and pink one. Yeah. I don't think anybody questions my masculinity. Nobody's ever said, bro, even when I debate like groypers and incels and people like that, none of them are like, dude, you have pink in your background. What the hell? None of them say that stuff. None of them say anything about purple or pink or any of that crap being behind me. None of them have ever said anything about this. I'm hoping that he's just using this as like a historical thing to show how some gender norms change. But just to be clear, again, masculinity in and of itself is not 100% socially constructed. And this is an issue that lots of people get confused in, is the categorization of gender is socially constructed. But that doesn't mean that all gender norms are just made up. That doesn't mean that we just made it all up and that none of it has anything to do with biology or differences in sex. That's not true. Gender is something that is stereotypical of a particular sex, right? So gender means like, you know, if something is masculine, it means it is stereotypical of the male sex. Or if something is feminine, it means it's stereotypical of the female sex. That's what gender is. Something that's stereotypical could actually have a biological reasoning to it. Not all the time. Obviously, lots of times, there's probably no biological reasoning to it. It would seem as though things like this, where we look and we see, okay, pink is something that men wear sometimes, but it's more often going to be used and worn by women or in a feminine manner. It would make sense that there's probably something underlying that makes females more attracted to the color pink, considering that that's been the lasting impression. That just because things were different at one time doesn't mean that, like, it's like when we say, you know, I forget the phrase, but, you know, something that breaks the rule doesn't mean that the rule doesn't exist. Exception does not break the rule. Yes. The exception does not break the rule. So, or make the rule. Yes. So you would think, well, since over time, what's lasted longer is pink being a feminine thing, that it would make sense that, like, there might be something underlying that says that this is actually more likely to be a biological difference. I'm not saying that it's actually a biological difference. I'm just using this as an example. But we do have studies that show that, like, children under the age of 2 are more attracted to pink if they are females. Like, we have studies that show this. We don't know what that means, but the best guess would be that there is probably something underlying that actually attracts them to these things.
Wore variants of this shade as a symbol of luxury and class.
I'm already arguing against him before he even made an argument, so we're gonna wait and see what the point in this is.
Pink at this time was actually considered appropriate for prepubescent boys, as the tint was seen as a paler shade of red, which meant that it had military undertones. Colors can push societal perceptions of gender too. Fast forward to the 20th century. Nowadays, much like expressing feelings, having humor outside of bigotry, and taking care of sim characters, pink has developed into a feminine trait. In femininity, the social construct of pink has been imperialized by the bourgeoisie. Current companies use newfound womanly connotations saturated with the idea of pink in order to sell material to women, like Barbie dresses, Hello Kitty, flowers, BDSM dungeon toys, which needed a bit of softer refacing. But they've
so there is actually like something that gives us a feeling from colors that we see, right? We can see colors and actually extract a likely feeling from that. Same with black. So when he shows Darth Vader standing there and everything's dark and they're shadowy and all of that, I don't think that we made up the interpretation that something being dark and shadowy is scary. No, I think that we actually like feel as though dark and shadowy is actually scary. You can see less. It's harder to make out. It seems like we actually associate these things with negative connotations. Just like with music, lots of people will say, oh, well, when you hear this certain tone in a movie where they're trying to portray that it's like scary and suspenseful and stuff like that, that's only because you've been socialized to believe that that is the feeling that you're supposed to get when you hear that sound. But that's not true. That's not true. We actually can see that there's actual, like, we didn't all come to the same conclusion through socialization. We actually get certain feelings from certain types of sounds, and those sounds have been used over time because of what it pulls out of human emotion. So we actually can find like real conclusive differences between like what we see or what we hear and how it makes us feel. And there's likely something, within our animalistic biology and DNA that makes us this way.
also been used as symbols of political upheaval. The Indian group named Gublai Gang wore and painted themselves in pink when they beat the ever-living shit out of domestic abusers.
Pink has always been a color in transition, and so have social attitudes towards it,
said Valerie Steele, American fashion historian.
The 150-year-old notion of pink as synonymous with fragile femininity brought forward by the West is being challenged. Pink is now having a cool face. It's hip, it's androgynous, it's strong, and it's here to stay.
Historically, pink has been a loaded statement, either for masculine or feminine causes. It's affirmation.
Pink has gone in and out of the zeitgeist as being popular for men. It comes and it goes. So if you look at the 80s, it was very popular for men to wear pink. It even with suits and pink dress shirts and stuff like that, it became very popular to wear pink, and pink was everywhere. The surfer dudes all had pink wetsuits on and pink surfer boards, and it was all very pink, and it became very popular for men to wear. But then going into the 90s, it became less and less popular and kind of faded away. But then get into the early 2000s, all of a sudden men are wearing Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, we're all wearing our polo shirts, and we're wearing pink again. All of a sudden, it becomes, real men wear pink and crap like that. And it fades in and out, where it's cool for men to wear pink. Now it's not so common. Now it's cool again. Now it's not so common. And it just comes and goes. The more we say, when all of a sudden I start wearing pink in the 80s or in the early 2000s, it's only cool when not everybody is doing it. But as soon as it becomes so normal that freaking everybody's doing it, nobody wants to do it anymore. Because now it's not a statement. You're not making any sort of statement anymore. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not different. And so now all men just kind of stop wearing pink because now it's become too common. There's no statement there anymore. And it's just kind of obnoxious. So everybody stops wearing it. It fades away. Nobody's saying, you can't wear that. You're a man. That's not what's happening. It's more so that it's just fading out of the zeitgeist because it's become too normal to wear. But other colors, we don't really do that with. We don't do that with other colors because other colors aren't really considered feminine. There are other colors, like yellow and purple are also considered feminine colors. But we don't do the same thing with those colors. We don't say, real men wear yellow. Like, that's not a thing. That's never happened. Nobody says that. Nobody cares, right? You can wear it yellow anytime you want. Nobody's going to think anything of it. But wearing pink, it does kind of have a statement that comes with it, a connotation that comes with it, because there are social norms that follow.
A characterization of self, gender expression at its finest. Now you may be asking, Tirrrb, why did you dye your hair pink? What does it mean to you? Are you fighting against the gender norms, which have turned Western men into emasculated shells of their once glorious hunter-gatherer, rock-chewing ancestors? Or are you fighting back the stigma associated with masculinity by
pink shirts with the collar up? Hell yes, dude. Let's go.
Becoming a figure of anti-normativity in a righteous quest to help yassified men flesh out aspects of their own gender identity? If I'm being honest with the audience, I just like the color.
That's ethical. I record like from the jump. And like people know, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's just recording. That's just like sense recording and shit.
I don't know if you can catch that howling. That's my niece howling in the background. She is a dog. She is a dog, just to be clear.
Oh shit! I just made a human with a penis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit, that's not good. We do a little messing up all the time.
Nowadays, if you've ever ripped a Beyblade in grade 2, tried to go Super Saiyan in grade 5, or experienced fear for the first time by playing Ding Dong Ditch on a neighbor without realizing that they were waiting by the door because you've already rang it 8 times, congratulations, you may be a boy, but you're no man. If you ever double dutched in kindergarten, wrote a One Direction Wattpad specifically detailing how Harry Styles would French kiss Zayn, congratulations, you may be a girl, but you're no woman. Have you ever lifted weights, danced, went on a hike, owned a blue DSi?
There's all of a sudden like more people here and my views went down. I think this stuff's screwing up all the time. You need to stir up some drama? Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm working on my video essay for the most part, so that's what I'm doing most of the day. Every day is working on my video essay. And going over like tons of other video essays stuff and timestamping it and getting stuff that'll be relative. What's your most controversial opinion? I mean, in this space, probably being pro-life, I guess. Chat, what's my most controversial opinion? That rape trauma comes from social standards. I don't know. Yes, Rape Alley, but the Rape Alley isn't an opinion. Rape Alley is a metaphor, or not a metaphor, but Rape Alley is to say, if there's an alley that has a sign above it, it's this dark, dank alley with a ton of dudes in it, and it's super shady and nasty looking, and it has a big sign above it that says, this is Rape Alley. And a woman chooses to walk down that alley anyways. It says that she has some responsibility in that rape. Like, she still has some responsibility in her getting raped. But it doesn't mean that now the rapist is now morally justified in raping her. Even though she did somewhat consent to the act of getting raped, she didn't consent to... It doesn't make the act okay now. It doesn't make it like a moral thing. Even though the way that we think about it is, well, rape is bad because she didn't consent to the rape. Even if she did somewhat consent to the scenario that got her raped, it doesn't mean that now she's consented to rape. So like, you know, dressing super sexy and going to like a biker club where like there's a bunch of ruffians there. this doesn't mean that now she's consenting to being hit on and sexually harassed and stuff like that. So that's rape alley, but it's not. I guess it does come with some opinions there. So your controversial opinion is that people can mitigate their harm even though people who harm them are still at fault. Sounds like something a lefty would freak out about. Yeah, I guess that might be one of my most controversial opinions is, yeah, I think that people can do things to become less likely to be harmed. And I think people call that victim blaming when I'm not putting any blame on the victim. I'm not putting any blame on them, but I am putting some responsibility with them. Just like if I get robbed and my neighbor comes over and they're like, bro, they robbed your house? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, why don't you lock your door, bro? What are you doing? Maybe lock your door next time. Like, nobody would be like, wow, I can't believe they're victim blaming you. No, like, that's good advice. I could probably do some things to make it less likely to where I get robbed next time. We need more victim blaming in the world. We have gone too far off the rails the last few years. I mean, again, I wouldn't even call this stuff victim blaming. So I wouldn't say that we need more victim blaming. I would say we need to actually fairly and accurately categorize what is or is not victim blaming.
I had a sonic freezy with the little gumdrop eyes, having excess knowledge on World War II, looked at a car and said, wow.
This is why I love you, Tom. He makes F situations sound palatable. That's actually like one of the points of the show is that, yeah, like originally I wanted to just talk about things that were very controversial and try to make sense of them. And that's like, I spent a lot of time early on talking about rape, talking about incest, talking about, pedophilia, like all sorts of stuff like that, because yeah, I wanted to actually like understand the overall things better and make art, play devil's advocate with those stuff, with that stuff.
That's a cool ass car. Or opened the jar in every candle store, took a sniff, and then left exclusively just.
I don't like women having to dress a certain way to avoid the actions of others, is why I don't like this take. But it's not an unfair take in a lot of situations. Well, I don't really care. Yeah, I don't really care one way or the other. Like, this is a thing that I got into with K-Fellows a bunch of times, right? So when I'd say, okay, women are going to complain that they're getting hit on when they're dressing in a more sexual manner. But they're dressing in a more sexual manner. Like, it seems likely that they're going to attract more men the more attractive they look. And if they're dressing in a way that seems as though they're trying to look more attractive, they're probably going to attract more men. That just makes sense. I like it when I have a hot girlfriend and she tells me guys are hitting on her all over the place. Like, to me, I'm like, yeah, dope. Like, that's kind of the point. That's based, like, because yes, I think she's attractive. I like that a lot of other guys think she's attractive as well. That's cool. But then K-Fellows would say stuff like, well, sometimes it's just really hot outside. And so, like, I'm just going to wear a lot less clothes. And I think that people it's not my fault that it's hot outside. I don't control the weather. And I'm like, yeah, you understand that men also are outside and get hot out there, and they're not wearing like booty shorts and walking around without their tops on. Like, some guys, sure, might walk around without a shirt on, but only in very appropriate places. Whereas women can walk around in a sports bra in places where men cannot walk around without their shirt on, right? Like, there's a huge difference here. You can choose to dress in a way that makes it to where you're cooling off and it's not as hot without dressing in a very sexual way, and without dressing in a very sexy, attractive sort of way. And if you're dressing in a way that makes you a lot more attractive, but then complaining that you're getting hit on, I don't really care. I'm sorry. Like, it's like with girls going to the gym complaining about getting hit on while they're wearing spandex everything. Are you kidding me? You are practically naked, just your skin is made of fabric now. Like, I can see your entire body. There is nothing left to the imagination here. I am not buying that you don't want to look attractive or that you're going to get upset if the right guy hits on you. It's not about guys hitting on you in general. It's about the wrong guy hitting on you in that case. You are dressing that way because it looks attractive, because you like the way that you look and other people like the way that you look. Serious question, why do you think we sexualize boobs? I think we sexualize boobs because I think it's because we all want to have sex with our own mothers. And we long for the days when we were suckling milk from our mom's breasts, and now we just need a new mom to give us milk. I don't know why we like boobs. I don't even know why they exist. Why the hell are they there? It doesn't make sense. Like, there are tons of flat-chested women who still provide milk when their kids are born. Like, why? So why are boobs there? It doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's not the mom thing. It's the it's my offspring have a higher chance of survival. What? Your offspring has a higher chance of survival if they have boobs? What? What are you talking about? Do you know boobs actually exist? Because women aren't strong, right? Women aren't actually like big and strong like men are. And so men, we have our muscles. We have a way to like actually fight off predators and stuff like that. But women don't, so they have to smack them with boobs. And they smack the crap out of their weapons, right? They're used as this evolutionary biology way of fighting off predators and just smacking them in the face with their boobs. It has nothing to do with sexual attraction at all, actually.
Just for the vibes. Congrats! You're a woman! Well, actually, no. These traits are actually pretty socially androgynous. Apparently, society is dissolving under the lack of gender confinement. I mean, men are becoming more depressed than ever before. Women are projecting their ideal cottagecore lives onto...
Thick thighs save lives. My favorite part on a woman, and this is super weird, this is super strange, but my favorite part on a woman is when she sits down and right at the top of her thighs, there's a crease there. When she sits down. I don't know why. I don't know why I like that. But I think it like signals that there's some junk in the trunk. I think that it pulls on the skin a bit more to where if her hips are wider and she's got a butt, when she sits down, it's going to pull and have a crease. And all the women who are listening right now, stop leaning forward. I know you're all checking to see if you have that crease there, but you can't lean forward to make the crease, okay? You have to be sitting back and the crease is still there, okay? Stop cheating.
To Animal Crossing characters. My dad is a Chad for having 8 mistresses in Cairo, apparently, and my mom is a harlot for taking care of me. It's true. I heard it from Andrew Tate.
If you're my friend, you just can't be a well, had a heart attack. Get the fuck.
Like her stomach? No, like actually where her thighs are. Like the hips, thighs, like where, like in the crotchal area.
Fuck up.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Trends like Men Used to Go to War, one where women comedically depict fissures in common masculinity, or more specifically, embodiments of dominance conceding with the act of being masculine, in a sort of Confucius-esque debunking of normative gender leveraging. Mindsets like, I don't know, I want a conservative wife, all have one thing in common: the categorization of gender. By using social leverages of patriarchy, hegemonic masculinity, and depictions of femininity, these meditations of social norms, in the immortal words of deceased...
Wait. All of Tom's scenarios are always binary. Girl dresses this way because it's attractive to guys. She must be looking to attract guys. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that she's trying to attract guys. I'm saying she is going to attract guys. That's what I'm saying. Not that she's trying to attract guys, but that she is going to attract guys. If you are going to wear something more attractive, but then pretend as though, oh, I didn't know. How would I know that wearing all spandex is going to be more attractive to guys? How could I have possibly have known that having more cleavage out was going to mean that I was going to get hit on more? Nobody ever told me that shorter skirts mean that more men are going to be staring at me. I had no idea. No, they know all of these things. They're not stupid. I don't have to go, like, their intent doesn't need to be there in order for them to understand this in the first place. Tomfoolery gym example is still bad, Tom. What do you mean? What are you talking about? You're saying because there's some utility there? How is that a bad example?
Philosopher Rene Descartes just aren't valid, bro. It goes without saying that in the modern day, there's a framework for masculine and feminine presenting individuals to follow. Gender rubrics which are pushed both by men and women. From birth, these frameworks dictate every aspect of a person's life, whether you choose to let it or not. And because these gender structures are so prevalent and...
Did he say aspects? Did he say aspects?
Both by men and women. From birth, these frameworks dictate every aspect of a person's...
He did! He misspoke! He misspoke! He misspoke, yeah! He misspoke! We got him! We got him! We can end it there. We can end it there. That was fun. We got him. It's over. It's all over. That's the end of it. He is done. He misspoke. No need to continue. Breasts seem to just be something determined by preferences. Just like any animals, they have features for nothing more than attraction. Right. So it's obvious that men over time were attracted to those who had breasts. But why were breasts there in the first place? Were they just a birth defect that men liked? And if they were, why did men like them? Z King, I'm waiting on you, homie. What is wrong with the gym example?
Life, whether you choose to let it or not. And because these gender structures are so prevalent and unforgiving, they in turn serve as systems that let us judge the value of a man or a woman. Through these terms like incel, homebody, top G, golf alt baddie lover, please have my kids and marry me and step on my neck and choke me out and then put your fingers in my eye and stomp on my ear and call me a good boy, or fatherless, because that was just a fatherless, that was fatherless activity. Right, that I did, right? Meaning each individual that dares to express gender in their respective social setting inherently have different connotations under the lens of hegemonic masculinity or femininity. Is this right? Where is the line in determining
what is a man?
Does this rubric...
Why do female turkeys find the necks of male turkeys attractive, and why did male turkeys start growing them? Well, we can assume it has something to do with the color spectrum that their eyes are able to see and what's attractive to their eyes. It seems likely. So, like, when we talk about pink being more attractive to women and women gravitating towards the color pink, it's likely that there's something within the color spectrum for females that actually attracts them to the color pink. Just as for female turkeys, there's something about the red gobbler that makes them attracted to the red gobbler. And it's similar in all sorts of birds, where, especially if you guys have ever seen Birds of Paradise, where they have all these different colors. The sexes evolved differently to attract the other based on the color spectrum that each one's able to see. Like men and women's eyes do see colors differently. Utility plus style women's workout clothing is going to bad to fit in the sexy way. Why is this not English? Made? I don't know which word is supposed to be made. But anyways, okay, again, I am not talking about their intent. I'm not saying that they are intending to attract men one way or the other. That's not the point. The point is that the utility is there. So, like, we're talking about like going to the beach, there's a utility in wearing a bikini, right? There is. But it doesn't mean that, like, there's other options if you don't want to be attractive, right? You are capable of losing that utility to be less attractive if you want to. And it's the same at the gym. That utility is not necessary. And you choose that utility with the downside or upside of being attractive at the same time. There's always like positives and negatives to everything, and you are weighing them and then making a choice to say, okay, I like the utility, so I'm going to take the downside with the utility. You're choosing that. You are still choosing that within some pragmatic sense to say, yes, I know that I'm going to be more attractive here, but I like the utility of the tight clothes anyways. Meaning that, yeah, you are still inviting the eyes at the same time. But why give up the utility when the purpose fits the situation? I just explained. I feel like I just explained that. You have to be pragmatic about it at the same time. It seems obvious. I think people are allergic to dealing with reality. Right, that's what I'm saying. It, like, even just now, I have to say all the time, I'm making descriptive statements, but people are taking these as prescriptive for me to say women shouldn't wear these things. I'm not saying that. I like looking at women in tight clothes. I enjoy it. My YouTube shorts, it's all women doing like oh, I love this chick. I'm in love with her. But it's all like women doing like yoga in tight pants. This is all of my YouTube shorts suggestions. I enjoy it. Okay, it's a technicality, I understand, but why frame it that way? Why frame it what way? I am not understanding. Do you want to jump in the VC? I am not understanding at all. I don't know if you're mistyping over and over or what. Yo.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This is what I was saying. I was saying I understand, yes, technically, regardless of what your intentions are for wearing the attire, people are going to like perceive you a certain way regardless. I understand that. When I was saying why frame it that way, I was referring to like, I guess you could say I'm basically saying why victim blame, because it's like, of course they're going to wear tight clothes. They're exercising. Like, of course. That's just like, you want them to wear a dress? Like, I know that's like super hyperbolic, but like, that's the part where I'm like a little bit annoyed.
No. So we can look at like guys wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt when they go work out. They're like, they don't always have on all of this like Under Armour and tight clothes and spandex everything, right? They're still capable of getting the same utility from these things where they're soaking up their sweat, they're keeping them cool, and they'll even wear, like, I wear Under Armour almost every day to work, but I wear it under like another shirt or other things so that I'm not walking around looking too sexy for everybody else at work. So
Okay, wait. I guess the better question is then what is like what's like a less sexy way for girls to like work out when they like what's a less sexy way for girls to dress when they work out? I guess that's what I'm saying. So they don't get like sexualized so much.
Well, I mean, same thing. So like they could wear t-shirts, they can wear basketball shorts, they can wear sweatpants, they can wear like all sorts of, there's tons of other options that they can wear that gets the same utility. Like that's what sweatpants were originally invented for. Is that they soaked up a lot of your sweat while still like not needing to be cleaned as often. And yeah, there's tons of other options.
Yeah, that was like my main contention because I didn't hear those options. Like I knew that stuff existed, obviously, but I wasn't thinking about that. I was more so focused on like, well, what the hell are they gonna wear?
Well, and so like with the conversation with Kate, where she's like, well, sometimes it's just really hot outside, so of course I'm gonna wear a lot less clothes. And it's like, I don't know, when it's really hot outside, guys aren't wearing a lot less clothes. They're not wearing all of a sudden clothes that are gonna show their bellies. They're not. It's not all of a sudden necessary to wear booty shorts.
But a guy will just take his shirt off.
But wait, but this is the point, is that guys can't actually go shirtless as often as women can wear clothes that show their bellies, right? Like guys, like where it's appropriate to wear clothes that show your belly for a girl, it is not always appropriate. Most of the time, the majority of the time, it's not going to be appropriate for a man to go shirtless there.
Yeah. Yeah, when you compare it to that, I agree.
And so yeah, so like in these cases, it's like when we look at the way that men have to deal with the same situations, it's all cope. Like it's all like, oh, I just want to wear the sexiest stuff in the world because it's hot. And it's like, but nobody else is doing this though. Guys are not doing the same thing. So it just doesn't make sense that that's like a necessity in these scenarios, or that it's actually the case that that's the only reason. It seems like there are other ulterior reasons there, but like, okay, so when we watch like the gym videos where the girls are wearing the super like tight spandexy stuff, right? They could be wearing sweatpants or something like that, but let's say they actually wear spandex. The new types of spandex are made to where they have the stitching in the butt crack so that it actually goes inside of your butt crack, right? So that it actually like shows the butt now, instead of it just showing the roundness going out from your butt. It actually shows like the pants actually go into your butt crack so that you can get more detail of the booty, right?
Yeah.
And same with like where your vagina is, like it cuts up much tighter on the vaginal area and on the crotch and everything. Whereas like guys, when they wear these things, you don't see their bulge sticking out because they don't have the stitching there, because they don't want the stitching to like have their bulge sticking out hardcore there. They
No, I know
wear,
what you mean. You'll just see chicks in the gym with like camel toes just walking
yes,
like nothing happened. I know exactly what you mean.
yes. And so it's not even just the tightness of it in and of itself, but also how it's stitched to actually like to point out all of that detail and to make it a lot more pronounced. But while like that's not necessary for the same things, that's not getting more utility, but we're still going to pretend it is and say like, oh, well, she just wants, you know, she's working out, that's what she's supposed to wear. Like, but it's not. There's so many other things added in now. So even like there's even like shading added to a lot of these things to make butts look rounder and bigger. And like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
Okay, yes. So there's all of these other things added in now to actually make those things even look bigger and more pronounced, and it's there. None of that is necessary. Yes, there is a market for it, and that's kind of my point. Is that they like the sexier things become more and more normalized, and the more and more normalized they become, the more and more people start to wear them. But then the more and more they wear them, then they get upset at the obvious outcomes from wearing it. And so I'm not saying don't wear it. I love it when you wear it. I enjoy it. I'm gonna be standing there staring with everybody else. Sure, but the point is that like you can't pretend as though these pragmatic outcomes are not going to happen and then get upset that they happen, when you have to know that they're going to happen.
No,
you
no, no.
have to know that that's an outcome.
never contested that. I can totally concede that. I never contested that. I was just like, I never heard alternatives. So that's where my brain was like triggered. It was like, what the hell are they gonna fucking wear?
Well, yeah.
Like that's
So
what my head was the whole time. I was like, well, what the fuck are these chicks gonna wear? Are they
Yeah.
just gonna go like in a dress? Like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
That was my contention. That was it. But
okay. I
it's
mean, yeah,
obviously-
because when Kay was telling me, yes, I have to wear booty shorts and I have to wear a sports bra outside when it's hot, I said, well, guys are wearing basketball shorts and in a t-shirt outside when it's hot. Like, why are these so drastically different and still getting the same utility? So yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah. Also, the gym TikTok thing is so stupid. God, I hate those.
I was watching a guy who's actually like wearing the spandex pants that have the stitching in the butt. I have some Under Armour right there that actually have the same thing, where it like makes my butt crack more pronounced, and he keeps like turning around and looking at women behind him as he's working out, and then like
Oh my
keeps
God,
like,
wait, I just had a little epiphany. I don't know if you heard about this, but you heard about the situation. It went viral recently. This girl was at the gym and she was working out. I think it was like at night in some apartment complex. And this guy was like coming after her and she fought him off. Did you hear about that story? It happened
no.
like 2 days ago. Yeah, I think Abba and Preach did a video on it like yesterday or was it today? It was recently. Anyways, this chick, she basically fought this guy off. I think she's like a female bodybuilder or something like that. It was a pretty
Oh,
interesting
wait. Is this where he, like, is on top of her and she's, like, punching him over and over and he eventually runs?
Yeah, they like grapple a little bit. Yeah.
Yes,
That one.
I saw clips of this. I saw
Mm.
just a couple of clips. I didn't see the entire thing, but it reminded me that, like, that's actually something I've talked about before, is lots of times women freeze up when this happens and they just don't know what to do. But actually preparing yourself for these situations, if you actually just fight back at all, that's enough to, like, deter the person. Like, normally their thought is, well, I'm so much bigger and stronger that the woman's not even going to try to fight back, but just a little bit of fighting back and clawing and scratching, and especially in the eyes, like, that's like the best place to go for is the eyes, and dig your finger into their eyes. Like, that's enough to deter them and be like, okay, this is the little bit of pushback is enough for me to not want to come out of this with any sort of injuries, to where I'm just going to go ahead and quit.
To be honest, I thought that guy was like on something because his motions were so like almost slurred. He was like, I don't know, he was moving very odd. But yeah, that was all I wanted to add.
Okay. Yeah, people want me to pull it up, so I'm going to pull it up
Okay.
real quick.
All right, well, thanks for clearing up the what I thought was a bad gym take.
Yes, well, of course, I'm going to take the bad takes and make them sound normal, so.
That's why I love you, Tom. Bye.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, see, she got the stuff all up in her booty crack too. That's why he attacked her, is because of the booty crack. That's what it is.
That was 24-year-old Florida fitness trainer Nashali Alma fighting off an attacker inside her apartment complex gym, and she's here to tell the story. Joining us is Nashali Alma. Nashali, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Just a crazy incident overall. How are you feeling since this happened?
I mean, overall, I've been feeling.
Tom, I've heard that when sometimes girls fight back, it can turn their assaulters sexually. You mean turn them on? I mean, maybe that's going to be such a small minority of the time that that's not even something to worry about.
Feeling good, mentally and physically. As soon as
got him. Yes,
I went
get him in the chokehold. Let's go.
And waking up to a lot of support and love.
She's texting while getting him in the chokehold. Let's go.
Yeah, it is, and I'm sure the outcrying.
Let's go.
People have called you an inspiration, etc. It just has to make you feel
get control of the legs.
Oh yeah. I've gotten call me badasses, inspiring them to work out and to even just take.
See, okay, so this is the most important part. Control the head, get in their eyes. I'm telling you, remember this? Get into their freaking eyes. That stops everybody. Get in their eyes. Whenever I've gotten in a grappling with people, always get in their eyes, stick my finger up their nose, stick my fingers like in their mouth and crap, grab their cheeks, rip on their cheeks. This is like, somebody's attacking you, you fight dirty. That's what you do. You don't, it doesn't matter. I don't give a crap. Kick them in the balls, punch them in the eyes, make them go blind for the rest of their lives.
Classes to defend themselves and get stronger. And that's actually like an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's well deserved. So before he attacked you, were you alarmed that he was just standing there and not really using any machines or exercising at all?
So no, not really. So after I let him in and everything, I was like in the zone working out. I didn't really pay much attention to him until I finished my workout and I stood up. That's when I noticed he was just standing there. But I kind of just ignored it because I was like, okay, maybe he's just, doing. I don't know what he was doing, but I just let it alone. I didn't want it to affect me or anything. So I just let it be, and I went back on my phone to put a self timer on. And next thing you know, he just came right after me.
Oh, so when he was coming at you, it looked like you guys exchanged.
I don't see like the full video. I don't want to see people talking about it. I just want to see the full video. But
surveillance video shows a 24-year-old woman fighting off her attacker inside a gym at a Tampa apartment complex.
Dude.
She's thrown to the ground but does not give up.
Oh, dude, she is beating him in the face with her phone.
The moment I would try to call 911, he would try to grab my arm or he was grabbing me, and I was like, okay, at this moment I can't call 911, so I gotta fight this out for the moment.
Nashali Alma says she was exercising alone last month around 9:30 at night inside the gym at the Oaks of Woodland Park Apartments when she let the suspect in the gym. She says sometimes people forget their key fobs, so she didn't think twice. Alma is a bodybuilder and figured if she kept fighting, her attacker would get tired and give up.
That was my, thought the entire time, because the more fight you put in, I do believe they would get more tired because they see that, dang, this girl is fighting, and you can see at the end of the video, he was tired.
After struggling with him for more than...
She got so many face hits in right there, right to the nose, dude.
And you can see at the end of the video, he was tired.
1, 2,
After
3,
struggling with
dude,
him for
4.
more than a minute, she is able to break free.
I was overwhelmed with emotion of how proud I was that this victim wasn't going to allow herself to be raped, and how hard she fought and the strength she had.
According to a criminal report affidavit the next day, the suspect, Xavier Thomas Jones, knocked on another woman's apartment door, asking if she wanted to hang out because he thought she was pretty. Deputies say he entered her apartment, but the victim's fiancé chased him away. After that encounter, deputies located and arrested Thomas Jones.
You have no idea who I am. You have clearly been watching me from the outside of my apartment, and you just decided to come out and knock on my door. It was weird. It was really weird, really scary and weird at the same time.
She's already putting tattoos on her face to be less attractive. I mean, damn, dude, take a hint. All right. We're gonna